Hello YouTube viewers, YouTube subscribers to my channel. I want to welcome you to another edition of Joe's Politics 101. Today is April 25th, 2015. And I've decided I wanted to post something. Some things have been going through my mind in reference to our criminal justice system. Now, there's a lot going on, as a retired police officer, I'm just confused at the number of police shootings of Afro-Americans and in some cases white people in this country right now. This is more than I've seen or heard about in a lot of years. And to try and educate somebody about this situation here is hard to do. It's hard to do for a number of reasons. One of the reasons is how the news media sensationalize it. Another problem with it is there is an inherent disconnect between the need for police and the general population. And in some cases, if you want to separate the populations into races and classes, it becomes even more difficult to get people educated about police officers. Now, before you go jumping to conclusions, because I'm not going to sit here and tell you that I'm not pro-police. I am pro-police. And I'm pro-police for a reason, not just to be pro-police. We live in a society where we need some enforcements. We need people to enforce laws to keep our society civil. That we need, and I think that the majority of us would agree with that. Because I'm pro-police, there are a lot of people who may view this YouTube video that I'm making right now and say, oh, he just want to protect the police. So let me get this out and let me get it straight with you from Jump Street. Number one, a police officer's job is not an easy job. Number two, when a police officer make a mistake and do something that is criminal, he should be arrested, he should be tried, and he should be placed in jail if that's necessary. I've watched the shooting in Ferguson the last couple of years. I saw the shooting in Carolina where the state trooper shot the guy that got out of the car. Seen that one. He was dealt with promptly and quickly, and as he should have been dealt with, because he had no probable cause to do that. The individual in Ferguson, I knew from day one what happened with that police officer in Ferguson, but he went too far. And from my own personal opinion, he should be in jail for what he did. Okay? That's my personal opinion, even though he's not in jail, and he may never go to jail. But he should be in jail. The shooting in South Carolina, This was totally senseless. Senseless. No, just downright senseless. For what purpose that was, I could not tell you in a million years what went through that police officer's head when that man bolted and ran away from him and he shot him in the back all those times. There's no justification for that kind of stuff. There's no justification in shooting a fleeing felon, period, or a fleeing person, someone that's running away from you. There's no justification in shooting that individual unless he has shot you or shot at you. As a police officer, there's no reason, no justification in any form or fashion. Now, this shooting in Oklahoma, this has got to be the most ridiculous situation in the world. It's just got to be the most ridiculous situation in the world. And I've heard people talking about this situation and saying, oh, this guy, you know what? First off, the last time I was in a patrol car, I was 62 years old. And in my mind, at age 62, I'm thinking 2, maybe 3 more years, and I'm out of that patrol car. I'm either going to retire or I'm going to get me a job doing training of police officers or something. I'm not going to be in that police car on those streets out there dealing with those people, with all these young people that's working around me. What's ignorant about the situation in Oklahoma is here's a 73-year-old man. 73 years old on a task force in a position to where he's got to put his hands on a suspect. This 73-year-old man should not have even been on that task force, period. At age 73, the average man at age 73 years old cannot handle a 25 or 30 or 40-year-old person. You just don't have the muscle strength anymore. The thinking ability is not the same. I've heard a lot of talk on the news media about this. I've heard them say he should be charged, he should be this. He probably did make a mistake, forgot where he had his taser, and pulled his gun. Excitement, adrenaline, all of those things come into play when you're dealing with these police officers. When something happens, the threat level goes up, the adrenaline level goes up, the blood pressure goes, everything goes up. Your body functions change when things change in a situation. You can't justify some of the things that people do. But this 73-year-old man should never have ever been on the streets with a task force trying to arrest a suspect. He should never have ever been there. He himself, personally, should know better than that he's not capable of doing that job. At some point in time, you hear people talk about, move the retirement age up, move this up, move that up. In certain professions, you cannot work past 65, 67 years old. You just can't do it. Physically, and your mental ability began to deteriorate as far as on-the-move thinking. Those abilities are just not functional as they were when you were younger. And people cannot admit that. A lot of people cannot admit that. But I'm a person who can admit that. I know when my strength is beginning to deceive me. I know when my mental capacity is beginning to sort of change and get to the mode where I have to spend a little bit more time thinking about something than I did when I was 50. Those are the kind of things people need to be thinking about. Now the news media, they sensationalizes all of this bullshit. All of it. They sensationalize. You know, and then you see all these highly educated, well-dressed suburbanites or urbanites or whatever you want to call them, who have never one time in their life been in any situation that a normal police officer would be in. And I'm not defending police officers. Please don't get that as a mistake of me trying to defend police officers. I'm not. What I'm trying to point out is you never ever see an average police officer sitting on television discussing the problems that police officers have when they enter communities or when they're having to deal with a suspect. Okay? You know, and I'm not just trying to justify it. I'm just saying that news media and all these well-educated, highly proficient professors and doctors and activists, you know, they got an answer for everything and what everything should be doing. But they only know the outside of the picture. They don't know the inside of the picture. You know? And a lot of this is dealing with the black community. You know, and when you start talking about the black community and police and this and that, then everybody wants to come on the defense. They don't want to deal with the facts of why a lot of things happen to black men in black communities dealing with police officers. You know, I can't do it on this YouTube post. Okay? I'm coming up with one right after I finish this one to try to explain some things about the black community, black men, in dealing with the police, white police. And why are they dealing with white police? Okay? You know, there's a reason for everything that happens. Now, I want you to take this YouTube video as an introduction to the next one. It'll be labeled Part 2. Okay? Thank you for viewing this. Go to the next one. View it. Ciao. See you in a minute.